We are back with the Buffalonian podcast. I'm Joe Cali. As always, I'm joined by none other than Dom Loss, heading into super wild card weekend. Dom, before we get into the matchup here, how are we feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Can't really complain. I mean, this is the best matchup they possibly could have had, a home game against the Steelers. So
very true. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have asked for anything more than this. A home playoff game after being 5-5, 6-6 at some point in the season. We along with the metrics, about an 18% chance to make the playoffs at one point. So weren't really thinking we were going to get anything special if they did.
We thought they were going to miss. I mean, we're very honest fans. You know,
mm-hmm. We try to paint the best pictures possible, but sometimes there was just, it was doom and gloom. As like 8 episodes were titled Doom and Gloom Part 1 through 8, pretty much throughout the middle of the season. So it was just not good.
As you alluded to, they somehow got a home game, and not even they got a home game, they got the 2 seed, and they played the worst team everyone believes in the playoffs in round 1. So, I mean, they're 9.5-point favorites, are the largest favorites of the weekend.
Yeah.
That was about 10, but now it's dropped a little bit. But yeah, I mean, this is a game that the Bills should handle. But we said that multiple times, and there's been games that they should handle that they've lost, and games that they handle that they've squeaked out by their skinny teeth, chin. So
yeah. Well, it's funny you say a pig reference there to the Three Little Pigs, because Josh Allen, most recently, as we found out before the show today, was featured in a commercial with Peppa the Pig. So, so just a little crossover there. But heading into Wild Card weekend, a lot of great matchups. We'll know, honestly, if the Bills win, we know who we're playing by the time the Bills are playing, if they win. When they win, I should say. I haven't gone to the Super Bowl at this point, but it could be the Browns. No, the Browns would be the AFC Championship if all things work out. Could be the Chiefs coming to Buffalo for the first time.
No, it could be the Browns or Texans.
Oh, it could be.
The only team it cannot be is Baltimore and Miami. The only 2 teams, I should say.
That's nice. No Dolphins to worry about. No fish to squish.
No, the only 2 teams that can't be that out of those 2.
All right. Well, it's interesting. This playoff picture is not what you would have picked in the beginning of the season. Let me tell you that much right now. The Browns led by Joe Flacco, but we'll get into Bills Steelers. Then we'll talk a little bit of futures here towards the end of the episode. So we got some news this morning. We'll start out with the injuries. Gabe Davis and Taylor Rapp are out. They will not be playing. Taylor Rapp got banged up on that game-winning int against the Dolphins. So that's kind of unfortunate that it happened in the final seconds of the game, but he did seal the game for the Bills to go to the 2 seed. So, I mean, thank you, Taylor Rapp. We salute you like Craig Anderson we used to for the Sabres. But we just have to you got to take care of business. You can't play down to the competition. We talked about that on Tuesday. Bills have a habit of playing down to the competition. The Patriots look like an all-pro team somehow playing against the Bills when the Bills are making mistakes. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on these injuries and any others heading into the game for the Bills side of things?
Yeah, kind of wait and see on Dotson and Douglas. I bet they're more questionable.
Yeah.
They're probably both out as well, I would assume. So it's kind of the next man up mentality. I don't know. I guess we'll see with Trent Sherfield getting a full game load, how I feel. I mean, he stepped up a lot against the Dolphins. I think the Rapp injury is really unfortunate because I really liked what they were able to do with the 3 safety look with Poyer, Hyde, and Rapp, and how he played. I mean, I think he played his best game of the year in Miami. But I'm weirdly all right with it because they have Cam Lewis, which I didn't think I'd ever say after that Justin Jefferson game. But I think he's played pretty well this season. So
yeah,
I'm not. It's also you're playing. Again, I don't know. I'm not overlooking the Steelers, but it's not like you're playing a vaunted passing offense per se. So, and it's not going to be in great conditions either. So, out of those 2 injuries, I'm probably the most worried about Gabe, just because Gabe does so much, and with the conditions, it's probably good to have your best blocking wide receiver in the game. And then Dotson, hopefully, maybe you can give it a go. I trust Dane Jackson. So I'm fine. Again, it is unfortunate to lose Douglas, but again, kind of a similar situation to Rapp is that they have a solid backup plan there and against the team playing. Dotson's injury concerns me a little bit because he's been so good against the run, and the Steelers are going to try and dominate time of possession, run the ball.
Yeah, Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris. Yeah,
they're going to. I didn't think Bailey Spector was awful, but like now that people have film on him, you know what I mean. So I think that'll be interesting to see. Those are the two guys I would think, from the Bills' perspective, that haven't been ruled out that could be like out. I guess also, if you're really looking into it, we'll see if they play Von. Like, kind of didn't do much against Miami. Not entirely shocking. I just think they could give Kingsley Jonathan those snaps and those 12 snaps, and I think he'll be more productive. That's just my opinion.
I think people are. I think that's a resounding opinion that many people agree with at this point. I mean, off the field circumstances out of the question. He's not come back to what he once was back from that injury. So you've seen.
Which, I mean, it's expected, but he just hasn't also, like, it's not even that. It's that I think people forget, because Von was such a good pass rusher, is that Von was also an elite run defender.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Von was really good against the run in his prime. Even last year, he was
pre-injury.
Yeah, pre-injury. Now he's awful against the run. He just doesn't look the same. So, I mean, is there a world where next year he kind of has a little bit of a bounce back? Sure. Year 2 off the ACL. We saw Trey White before the Achilles, unfortunately. I think he was playing his best ball post-injury. So,
yeah,
I think, a full offseason of him in training camp and all that, I think even at age 35, 36, whenever training camp begins for Von. So for me, it's more of, I think they should just shut him down. He's just not making an impact. Now, maybe they don't want to shut him down completely and they just have him as healthy and active, but I just don't see how he's helping the team week in, week out, other than being a leadership role, which, can he just be like Josh Norman and just be not playing, but like be a hype up guy? Like, I don't know.
I mean, Josh Norman is one of the ultimate hype up guys on that bench, if you see. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think that's a situation where the Bills really they did it against New England, and then I don't know. I mean, I can understand from the perspective of like, hey, like, this guy's come through in the biggest moments in NFL history, but like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I gotta see if anyone else is. No, everyone. Ty Johnson, I forgot to do it.
Yeah. He's concussed because of a missed head-to-head call. Yeah.
Yeah, was in the non-contact red jerseys yesterday, so that means he went up a step. So I think he has a chance to play. Again, that is always really weird. I mean, Kincaid missed that. I'm blanking on what game Kincaid missed.
I'm trying to think.
It was a Giants game, I think.
I think it was too.
Yeah, because it was the game after Jackson, London. Yeah, because he got concussed in London. Yeah. Like, we all thought he was potentially going to clear. He didn't clear, so we'll see with that. I guess in that scenario, Latavius Murray would become active again, and they'd have. I think Fournette's going to get called up tomorrow.
Oh, I would agree. He honestly had a couple good runs for a little chunk yardage, so I think you can utilize that quite a bit.
My only thing of Fournette, though, is I didn't think he was a good pusher on the Buffalo shove.
No.
Like, if you look at the last play, the offensive play, I know Josh. So part of it's on Josh because, like, the first jump in the air was a smart move because they were going all out for that. And, like, okay, but, like, doing that twice was probably not the best solution because you lose all your momentum and you're the high guy, right? Mm-hmm. The problem is that if you do that, you got to have someone shoving you behind, and Leonard Fournette just kind of watches. So I don't know. Maybe I would not be a shot. If I was the Bills, I'm being 100% serious when I say this. Like, if Ty Johnson doesn't go, I would have Latavius Murray active, and I would only play Latavius Murray on Buffalo shoves because he's shown that especially not about Gabe Davis.
Mm-hmm. Like, because you don't have big game Gabe. Yeah. No, Latavius Murray. His designation is for the Buffalo shove. That's it.
That's all you need to do.
That's all you need him to do. And honestly, the only other injury, quote unquote, we're looking at Dawson Knox has the mysterious illness listed.
So
and he
did
did not
Deion,
practice,
yeah.
and Deion did too. So
It is unfortunate. It is unfortunate how healthy the Bills were just a week ago, and now like you
the
have
injury report,
five guys
yeah.
with new injuries from last week that are probably going to miss. I mean, maybe Douglas plays, maybe Dotson plays. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's linebacker at the shoulder can play through the pain. I don't know how a corner can play cutting and all that.
No, I don't think so. You're absolutely right on that. So with
But
Rapp being out, do they activate Hamlin?
probably, yeah.
Probably.
Actually, no. I think. Well, yeah, and I think if Douglas being out, they're going to activate Kaiir.
Oh boy.
So
Kaiir, hopefully, he has a big game and just comes out of the woodwork. You know what I mean? But
I know
we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening.
I guess with the Steelers, I mean, it's kind of funny with all those injuries, the Steelers still have the most significant one, TJ Watt.
Yeah, and that was confirmed earlier in the week by Mike Tomlin that he will not play. So
yeah, MCL sprain. I think someone, oh god, I can't remember if it was Banged Up Bills or the thigh doctor said that Douglas may have a similar injury, which would be kind of a Burrow moment.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
That's a multi-week injury. But yeah, him being out is crucial because the Steelers still have good like depth edge rushers, and Alex Highsmith is like a Pro Bowl level edge by his own right. But like TJ Watt takes over games. TJ Watt is the head of a game plan. You know what I mean? And to not have him in the lineup, the stats are just mind-boggling. They go from a top 5, top 10 defense to like 20th, 25th. Like that's how they go draft. They draft like 20 spots in EPA and yards and points, and
you're not getting that pressure anymore.
And they don't win quarterback on them.
Yeah, right. And on a quarterback like Josh Allen, when you have no pressure, he's going to manhandle you and do whatever he wants to you. Like that. That's just truthfully what's going to happen if they play up to their potential. And without TJ Watt, that's definitely an easier route to win this game because your offensive line's under a lot less pressure, and Spencer Brown on that side is going to have a backup. So, like you said, they drop like 20 spots.
I mean, Nate Herbert is still a good edge, their third edge, but he's not. He's just not. No one is TJ Watt on that team.
No.
I mean, Highsmith's good too, but really good. And also I think with the injuries as well, Mika Fitzpatrick is coming back. Their ball hawking safety and KZ. So they have a little bit more people in the secondary. So I mean, it should be a fascinating game. I want to talk about the weather for a second. Who do you think it favors?
That's a good question because they are both teams that can see this kind of weather at any point in their later season. I'm going to be honest with you. The Bills in this rough weather recently in the Josh Allen era, they're not the best in this kind of weather. I mean, we've seen it firsthand. They play well still, but when the ball's slippery, when the winds are high, I mean, we watched the Patriots run it 45 times live with Damian Harris. Like they're not necessarily meant.
Dude, you 100% forget that he was on the Bills this year.
Yeah, because he got injured, right? So
yeah,
I mean,
we
lost him midway through the season.
I saw that like looking at Madden ratings the other day, and I was like, yeah, Damian Harris was on the team.
Yeah,
same thing with Nyheim Hines. Like, yeah, he was. Well, he got injured, but like
will he come back? Nyheim Hines? No. He still calls himself a Buffalo Bills running back and goes around.
No, I don't know. Probably not.
No. I mean, that was rough for him, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know who it would favor. I feel like it kind of goes down the middle a little bit here because you got to think on the other side of the ball. They also announced that Mason Rudolph is going to stay the starter, and he's bound to tank that one game. I think, and snow games are those games where they just come out of nowhere and the weather is not in your favor. And he's been sitting on the bench for quite some time, so I don't know how ripped and ready he is for a tough weather game like that. Because when the ball's cold too. It's like kicking wise, it changes everything. It's a whole different story, Who do you think it favors, though?
I think it's interesting. Obviously, you saw the Steelers last week playing in the rain in Baltimore, and they really struggle with ball security. I mean, Warren fumbled a couple times, and Najee had a fumble exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Mason Rudolph had a couple fumbles. It was not a pretty game from the Steelers. I think it favors the Steelers, and it's just from the perspective of this. If you said this weather or 25 and little wind, who does that favor? And it's the Bills, right?
The Bills, 100%.
So now this weather, it's like almost 0 wind chill, 30-mile-an-hour winds, snow.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't quite favor the Bills as that weather. So I think that's where, like, the value-wise, it also just completely helps the under.
It does.
Market, which is why it's tanked to 35 points. I think because of that moment. But I also think this. And man, I'm gonna get so mad if they lose. But the Bills this year, I think, are more built for this game than they have been in years past.
I would agree.
The offensive line is the best they've had in the Allen era. This running game is the best they've had in the Allen era. I just think they're more built for this game. Like last year was not quite as bad as a weather game, but against Cincinnati, like they were not built for that game. Cincinnati was with all that.
Yeah, they got smacked in the face.
I think the Bills are built better for this game. The Steelers are built really well for this game too, which is a concern for sure. How they're running the ball, defense, and all that. But I just think it comes down to which quarterback handles the weather the best. And Josh has a lot of experience where Mason Rudolph, has been a backup, hasn't, as you allude to, gotten these reps. So I think, like, quarterback wise, it still favors the Bills because we saw hand in hand, as you alluded to in the Patriots game, Josh is able to still throw the ball pretty well in that weather. I know the stats will say a different story, but like eye test and seeing the ball was a little, like, especially seeing Mac Jones from comparison.
Yeah, there was a difference, clear difference between the two of them.
I think there's a significant difference between Josh Allen and Mason Rudolph, just on a talent perspective, not even if we're going to talk about playing ability, and also just an athletic ability. The Bills going to be able to use Josh's legs to their advantage in this game. Also, having the home crowd, I think, is going to matter too, just with communication and all that for the Steelers. So
yeah, I think huge too.
I think overall it just favors the Steelers because of this was I don't want to say good weather, but like a solid weather game. Like if this is like a solid Buffalo weather game where it's like a little windy, cold, but no snow, it would favor the Bills. But this weather definitely would favor the underdog in this scenario.
100%. And also, I just think, truthfully, at this point, like you said, the Bills are built for it. The offensive line, like you said, has been playing better. The running game is alive. It has not been alive the past years. They used to abandon the run, and Josh Allen was the running game. Now you have alternatives, which is nice. And speaking to that, as I said, you have Josh Allen. This guy is going to tear up the Steelers on the ground, I think, in games like this where it comes down to it, where say it is high winds, right? Big gusts. They underestimated it. Josh will do it with his legs too, and so will the Bills. Like they have that ability to do that, and I think that's a game changer, like you said, compared to that Bengals game where it wasn't this bad. And that offensive line was Swiss cheese. Like they could not. They were slipping. They were falling. Everything. Like it was not. They were not built for this kind of weather. And I think this is going to be interesting. The game is not getting moved to Cleveland. That was a false report we found out yesterday. So, if it really gets that bad, I don't know what they'll do, but. At this point, it's not supposed to be horrible.
I think if it gets that bad, they'll move the game to Monday.
Yeah. You could literally wait it out a day at that point.
That's my prediction. If it gets really that bad, if they think it's that bad, they'll just wait it out till Monday and just have whoever wins that game play on Sunday of next week.
Yeah. Well, who's your we'll roll into this now. Who's your guy? Who's your player of the game?
Well, I think the keys
of the game.
Before you say that, it's just, as you allude to with the weather, I think it just partially just comes down to who handles the weather better. Like, who takes care of the football. The kicking game, as you allude to, I think that's going to be crucial because Boswell is a really good kicker, and he's
very good.
Some crap weather, too. So that's not quite the advantage of, like, if Houston was coming here in Houston. I think it's Amendola who's still their kicker. I can't remember the time I who the kicker is. I don't think it's fair. So
yeah,
that's a dome kicker. Like that would have been an advantage. This one, playing against the Steelers, they've played in crap weather a lot. So I think it's just who handles the elements better is going to be crucial. Like who hangs onto the football, field position is going to be crucial. But listen, we all know the most important thing, the most important key to the game is Josh Allen. I mean, he's the reason why you pay $250 million to one player. He's the reason why he's probably going to be second MVP. He's the reason why every year people are putting in their betting tickets for MVP and for the Bills to win the Super Bowl is because of him. And at the end of the day, if he doesn't play well, the Bills could very well lose this game. And if he plays well, I just don't see a scenario where he plays well and the Bills lose. I kind of just don't. I'm going to be honest. Like, if he plays well and they lose, it's going to be like, I just, a million things other outside Josh Allen had to go completely wrong. But yeah, I just think can the Bills control the line of scrimmages, take care of the football, win the field position battle, and can Josh Allen be Josh Allen? And if those things happen, we should be good. I mean, come on.
We should.
Like, I'm like, this is why, like, I get so, like, this is,
you get nervous.
Even as, like, a 2 seed against the worst team in the field, you know, just a roster rise, it's like, this is so nerve-wracking, man. This is it. Like,
because you think back to the season, though.
And next time we might not have a Bills game to talk about.
No, don't. Okay. We need to stop saying that. All right, we will have a Bills game to talk about. I know. No, because you are worried because you look back on the season and the Patriots. I mean, they didn't really have more wins, but at one point they had 2 wins on the season, and one of the wins just happened to be against the Buffalo Bills somehow. And Pittsburgh. So you never know what can happen here. It's just the Steelers could really fall flat. The Bills could really fall flat, or it's going to be a close game. Like it could. Mike Tomlin is the X factor for the Steelers, not the Patriots. To me, like knowing he's whatever the stat is, 10 winning seasons, whatever that is, whether you like that or not, it's true. His defensive mentality kind of keeps them in games. So it's the kind of a Sean McDermott on the other side of the field you're dealing with, you know?
Yeah. Tomlin's never had a losing season in like 16 years, and he's very good as a dog, as an underdog. So it's going to be a tough game regardless, but I think if we go into, you know, X factors and player of the game, I think just the X factor is going to be the run defense.
Yeah.
I think if the Bills are able to stop Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris and make Mason Rudolph throw the ball in these conditions, they're going to have a lot of success. Now, the thing I'm concerned about, though, when they throw the ball is there's kind of always been like when the Bills play A.J. Brown or when the Bills played Julio Jones, is that George Pickens is just a physical mismatch for anyone in the NFL. But, like, the Bills have always had corners that are not the most, are just smart and are, like, average to slightly above average athletes. They don't have, like, it's not like they have elite athletes at corners.
No, they don't have the speed.
An elite athlete at wide receiver. So, that's what concerns me a little bit. But no, the X factor is the run defense. If the Bills can force the Steelers to be in second and third and long and make them throw the ball, they'll find a lot of success in this game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I 100% agree with you. It all comes down to me, like you said, the run defense, but McDermott's defense in general. They've found a way to squash teams for multiple weeks now where, the offense did have 3 turnovers against the Dolphins, right? And the Chargers, and you still found ways to win games. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, because the offense, like the weather, it might not promote the best offensive performance. You might really be on the ground just running the ball. You might not be throwing it 60 yards or having Josh go crazy. So what you're dealing with is bad weather that you're going to have to play smash mouth football, and it's going to be defensive. This game is going to be defensive. And that to me is definitely an X factor, is McDermott's play calling ability. This string bean defense that's been called by many in the national media coming to a head and doing what they have to do and winning the game. And I mean, if we wanted to do a player X factor, it's going to be Josh Allen 100%. But MVP of the game next, there is no one else. There is no other option. It's going to be QB1, QB 17, number 17 on the field, number 1 in our heart, Josh Allen. He's going to be my MVP for this pick. We say it every week and we pick him. It's the easy pick. It's the pick you don't want to make because it's just minus 100 odds. You're not winning any money if you're betting that, but he's going to be the reason your team wins. And that's the scary thing. The national media for a month, since the Bills really started making this last playoff push where they went undefeated in their last 5, the national media has been saying the Bills are the scariest team to make the playoffs. You do not want them in the playoffs. And there's one reason for that, multiple reasons actually, but one big reason for that. It's Josh Allen and his playmaking ability. And you don't know what he's going to do. Playoff Josh Allen is one of the, like, you can't argue with those stats. Look at that Patriots wild card game in Buffalo in horrible temperatures. And yeah, the weather wasn't going to be as bad, but horrible temperatures. He still balled out. Like, what do you think? Who's your MVP? Are you going to have to piggyback, or are you going to pick someone else?
I'm not picking Josh.
No. Who you picking? Who's your guy?
James Cook. Let James Cook. I think.
Yes.
Team on the ground. I think he goes for 102 scores. Yeah, I think the Bills are going to be able to run the ball in this game. I also think the Titans will have a big game because I don't think the Steelers linebackers are very good. Really, the Steelers corners aren't great, but with Levi Wallace, you could target him a little bit. He did pick off Josh last year. Just wanted to give an injury update.
Oh boy, what do we got?
Ty Johnson cleared concussion protocol, so I think our hope of Latavius Murray being the pusher is unfortunately gone. And other than a couple of veteran rest days, the Rapp and Douglas missed, and so did Davis. So those are if I'm what the media can see. So Dotson played, so was probably limited, so maybe he's leaning towards actually playing, but Douglas seems to be kind of out, as we alluded to. Yeah. Then the other big news is that only one Bill made an All-Pro team, and that was Taron Johnson made second-team All-Pro.
Oh, what did we predict, though? I mean, but we said first team, technically, but
we said first team. Yeah. I don't know what to quote. I don't know what to really think about that because I don't know what to think about that.
Who's the All-Pro quarterbacks?
I haven't looked. I just seen a lot of tweets of Taron being second team. And I'll look into it. Well,
we'll have to digest it on Tuesday on our Buffalonian episode.
I just think this is the James Cook kind of game. It's going to be bad weather. I think they're going to run the ball a little bit. I think they're going to play smash mouth physical football. Heck, it could be Leonard Fournette because I think he could get in the end zone. But I just think Josh may not have the gaudy numbers at the end of this game.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't predict his passing necessarily to be the gaudy numbers, but I think his running is going to be big in this kind of weather. You know what I mean? I just feel like if there's snow accumulation, he's extra slippery. He's already slippery enough as a big 6'4" quarterback, and he's just going to plow through people. He'll be the snow plow this weekend, I think, in the snow. But what's your final score prediction now before we get into paving the road a little bit here for the playoffs and some predictions? What do you think? Final score.
Well, the Bills are 9.5-point favorites.
Mm-hmm. Are they the biggest favorite in wild card weekend? Yeah. Ooh, that scares me. Last time the Bills were the biggest favorite was against the Giants, and look how close that went.
Yeah, Dak Prescott made second-team All-Pro quarterback.
Oh, my God.
First-team All-Pro slot corner was Trent McDuffie. That's kind of annoying.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a lot to unpack for Tuesday's episode.
That's whatever. That's kind of annoying. Whatever. Sorry. I think it's going to be 20-13. And it's going to be a close. I think it's going to be. I don't know. I've been pretty spot on saying that when there's going to be close games, this is going to be a close game. I'm really hoping this is a blowout. In my heart of hearts, I want it to be so bad, and I think there's a really good potential that there is. But I just think it's going to be a physical. The weather makes it kind of an interesting kind of one-score game. So 20-13 Bills.
Okay, I like it. 35-7 Bills. I think they blow them out. I think it's a big game here. I'd love to see a shutout too. Prove me wrong. Don't let them even have 7 points. 35-7 though. That's my prediction. I think the Bills are going to hum. I think they're going in with the chip on their shoulder. They got a home playoff game. The hats and t-shirts, Josh says he'll take it, but it's not. It doesn't mean anything. All it means is a home playoff game, and that's what they're going to play, and they're going to put on a show and make the rest of the AFC scared. So there we go. That's our preview of Bills Steelers. Now, I'm looking at a playoff predictor here. If the Bills win, they won't play Baltimore or Miami, as we said. Okay. But who would you rather them play between Texans and Browns and Chiefs? Like, is there a preference for you, or would you want the Chiefs to roll into here for the first time with the Mafia
Probably
present?
The Texans, because they have a rookie quarterback, and as well as CJ's played. Just the weather factor, as we allude to, their dome. Houston's a dome team, so I think you'd have the advantage there. So I think you'd rather FC Houston, especially because I don't think Houston's defense is quite as good as the Browns. The Browns have probably the best defense in the entire NFL, so would likely not want to face. I know, again, you're probably switching out the best defense for the best. Like, CJ Stroud is the better quarterback than Joe Flacco right now. So
yeah.
I guess
playoff Joe Flacco, though.
Yeah, that'd be
could emerge.
But, I think looking at these games real quick, if we want to make predictions, I think the Browns take care of business in Houston.
Yeah, me too.
They already beat them once. I know that was CJ Stroud. That was of Case Keenum, but they really kicked the crap out of them. And I do think playoff experience matters in these games. And
100%.
I know it's a home game for Houston, so we'll see with that. Then I honestly think Miami's going to come in and shock Kansas City.
I've kind of
been on that train. I've kind of been on that train since the game started. I don't know. My thought process has always been this: is that I know we just talked about weather of Houston being impacted. And I know Miami, hot, warm weather, whatever. Is that Miami could really, really run the ball? Like, I don't think they get enough credit for that. Like. Yeah, I know maybe their passing attack may be slowed down, but like they also have the most unstoppable wide receiver in the league this year in Tyreek.
Yeah,
right? And
I
don't know
if
their
he's
injuries.
Better.
We don't know anything officially with like Waddle or Mostert, but like I know their edge rushers are all down, but like I don't know, man. I think that'll be a close kind of game, and I just think Miami's gonna pull. I just like Miami's running game better than Kansas City's, and I just think Kansas City's outside weapons of Mahomes just make too many stupid mental errors.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And this season has not been Kansas City's season, to say the least. They've had some serious struggles. I mean, their receivers must be putting the butter on their hands before they're going out on the field, and they think it's Stickum. It's what it seems like. MVS can't catch a ball to save his life. So the Dolphins, I kind of like that, going in there and surprising, bouncing back after a couple of rough losses, ending the season, losing the AFC East, losing the 2 seed. So if we're going off of that, it'd be Browns at the Bills and Dolphins at the Ravens. What's your prediction from there? What do you think happens there?
Well, I would also like to say that I think, honestly, the weather being that crappy really does favor. I don't say kind of like this. I feel like it kind of favors Miami a little bit, because I know it's cold, but like it's cold. You know what I mean? It's not like just it's like kind of cold. Like it's all the way cold. So like I don't know. Both teams are gonna have to struggle with it, and I would think like if it was a kind of a little bit of a better weather game, that Kansas City actually would probably be at a better advantage with the fact that Miami doesn't have their edge rushers, that even with their inexperienced tackles, they could probably have thrown the ball pretty well. But yeah, I with the other AFC, I think Baltimore would take care of Miami in that scenario. I think we would take care of
the Browns, Cleveland. Joe Flacco.
Yeah, that would be a tough game as well. Again, AFC North, tough game. And then if we would go to the AFC Championship game, I don't know. I would have a hard time picking against the Bills, to be honest, but I would say it would be about a 45% chance the Bills win, like in Baltimore.
In Baltimore? All right. So I have them winning, and I know we're gonna see this go throughout the playoffs here. But who's if the Bills make the Super Bowl, who do they play? Quick question for you. Just a little futures thing here.
Well, I think this weekend Dallas is going to pound on Green Bay because I don't think Green Bay can stop them. Like, I think Green Bay could maybe score them, but like Green Bay ain't stopping Dallas unless Dallas just explodes. I think the Rams are going to go into Detroit and beat Detroit. I actually think they're just better than Detroit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Who's the 4-5? I'm like, oh, that stupid Eagles.
Eagles Bucks.
I think. Oh my god.
Do you think?
I'm not betting on Baker. I wouldn't bet on Baker. I'm picking the Eagles. Sorry, I'm just not betting on Baker. Like Baker is not 100%, and the Bucks did not look good last week. I know the Eagles look awful, but like, I don't know, man. I'm just not betting on Baker in big win. And then probably in the semifinals, so what that would be.
It'd be Rams, Niners.
Niners are going to beat the Rams. I have no idea. The Niners would beat the Rams.
Yeah, and then Eagles, Cowboys. It would be.
So I feel like I'm going super chalky because I'm going 1-2 in both. I would do 1-2. I think Dallas would pound on the Eagles, and then
I think the Niners kill the Cowboys. I do.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Bills Niners. It's a little chalky. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams beat the Niners or some. I mean, if 2-3 happens with the Bills. So, but yeah, I would have Bills Niners if I had to make a Super Bowl prediction with the Bills in it. I just think the Niners are just like, I don't know. As long as they're healthy, they're just a leg above everyone in the entire NFC.
That scheme,
really, the entire league, other than Baltimore, which is why I think the Bills going to Baltimore is going to be an incredibly tough game.
Yeah, you kind of hope an upset happens and they chalk one up to like Miami or something. You know, like that'd be interesting.
I mean, listen, the Bills have had very good success against Baltimore in the McDermott era.
They have.
I should say, well, when they got creamed the one year, but I'm talking about like
divisional round.
Well, they've played 3 times, legit times, I say. The last 2 times, they're 2-1. The only losses in 19 when the Ravens were juggernaut and the Bills were kind of all right, but they've done a fairly good job against Lamar. They've always have, especially in that divisional round, as you alluded to, and even last game, you know, coming back from 20-3 down. So that was in Baltimore too. So the Bills have played well against Baltimore, so that would be an interesting AFC Championship game.
That'd be a very watchable AFC Championship game if you're just a football fan in general too. So
true.
The script might have it that way for ratings reasons too. So we'll have to see what happens there. But Bills, Niners, Super Bowl, and of course, who do we have winning? The Bills. How can we not? Or do you? Do you not?
No, I think if as a fandom, I hope the Bills win.
Yeah. If they beat Baltimore, I think they can beat anyone.
If I was betting, I'd have the Bills win just because I'm a Bills fan. But I don't know. I really like San Francisco.
I know
that they got creamed by Baltimore on Monday night, but like, I think that was not fluky. Like, credit to Baltimore for making the plays, but like, there were so many turnovers by San Francisco. They still were able to move the ball in that Baltimore defense. It just the Rams matchup in the divisional round scare me a little bit.
Yeah, because they can be
McVay kind of owns Shanahan.
Yeah, you're right, and they're feisty. They want it, so that's also
same thing with these Steelers. This is why. I mean, this time
you gotta
year,
love playoff football, man. I love it.
This is why you love this time of year because, like, on paper, the Steelers can't hold the fiddle to the Bills, but it's one game,
any given Sunday,
1 p.m. on Sunday, 60 minutes, in 2.5, 3 hours. We'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. All right, that's a little rough prediction for the Bills postseason and the rest of the postseason for the NFL. We'll see how we fare on those predictions in the coming weeks. So we'll keep you posted. But without further ado, that's going to do it for this edition of the Buffalonian Podcasts Betting on the Bills Super Wildcard Weekend Edition. No more weeks to put after the titles. We're nearing the end of the road here. I'm Joe Cali. As always, I was joined by Dom Lawson. Dom, how do we always end these, buddy?
Go Bills, baby.